Skull and Bones is, by the time I'm making this video, in open beta. That's actually free to access, meaning that anyone can try it, and it will remain so until it launches first into early access on the 13th and then officially on the 16th. So it is safe to assume that the version we're playing now is the release version, an assumption that is reinforced by the fact that all progress will be kept after the official launch of the game. There were in fact several closed betas that happened in the past, one of which I had the privilege of being part of, and overall Skull and Bones is a game that I have been keeping an eye on for a long time, with several videos being released on the channel about this very title. And so, during the last closed beta playtest, I got to play the game for the first time, and long story short, I loved it. I devoured the mere 6 hours of the gameplay here that were allocated per player, and I couldn't wait to get my hands on the game again, thinking about it almost every single day. Well, now that Skull and Bones is in open beta and ready for release, I am now once again sailing the seas of Ubisoft's recreation of the Indian Ocean. I am loving it even more, and in this video I wanted to share with you my very first impressions of my very first steps as a pirate in the world of Skull and Bones. First things first, let's talk about the first thing that you will do in the game, and that is the tutorial. Unfortunately, it is still the same, it's still as boring and as unintuitive as it was when I first gave it a shot, and for players who will not have the willpower to get it through here, it's probably going to give a terrible impression and may even make some want to uninstall the game and get a refund. Well, when I played it for the first time, I gotta say that I was not very impressed. I was lost, I didn't know what to do or where to go. I spent over 90 minutes finishing it, and for me it was hands down the worst experience I've had with the game. And so if you are new to Skull and Bones and don't want to experience the same bad experience that I had, then I've got you covered with this video here, where I will walk you through the tutorial in just about 20 minutes, which will save you a lot of time and frustration. And after you're done with the tutorial, you will still have, if you wish, a few quests to get you started, which will get you a proper ship and some equipment, and then you'll be off to sail the seas. And this is where Skull and Bones really shines, in my opinion, because it really gives you the liberty to do absolutely whatever you want to do. As I was growing up my level of infamy to then be able to afford better equipment or acquire a better ship, I haven't decided at this time of making this video here what to do here, I ended up doing a lot of various activities, such as your average act of piracy, as you would expect, but also some trade runs, some good old exploration, and some cargo mission. I really enjoy here the fact that Skull and Bones is not just about combat, but that you can also, if you desire to, choose to take your time and just appreciate the gorgeous environments that the developers have created, which greatly vary depending on where you go. In fact, even local areas may feature different biomes and factions, as is the case with the Red Isle or Madagascar, which is quite different whether you're traveling on its east coast or its west coast, and the difference will be even more obvious if you travel to the east coast of Africa or the Malay Peninsula. And these are but the most obvious details. Skull and Bones is in fact filled with an incredible amount of real-world, cultural, historical, or geographical references. From the various birds that you will see around the various seas as you travel from A to B to C, which would even land on your ship, which is really awesome, to the various commodities that are specific from each culture and the demand from each specific cultures as well, from the color of the water, which will change based on how deep the ocean floor is, to whether there is coral, kelp, or sand, to the diverse people you meet and who will look and sound different whether you are in the north or the south of the east coast of Africa, or in the Malay Peninsula, or deep in the East Indies. You will feel deeply immersed and really feel that this is an authentic experience here that you are getting with this game, which is something that I really loved. Combat is also working fine. I like how you're not just going out there to pick up fights here. You actually have to make preparations if you want to be effective in combat or even survive. Not enough cannonballs? Well, you'll be out of ammo. Not enough repair kits? Well, good luck against multiple opponents or a boss fight. Not enough food? Well, you have zero chances if you try to outrun an adversary you can't beat. And you can get your supplies in multiple ways, actually. You can craft them, you can get them from the materials you'll collect in the game world, or you can steal them from other vessels that you sink, or you can simply trade them and then buy them for some money at some of the outposts and settlements you'll come across. And I would say that the biggest advantage this game mechanism has is that it encourages you, the player, to take the time to explore and know your environment. By not doing so, and this is coming from someone who fell into that pitfall, you will get stuck, you will get frustrated, and you will die rapidly. Of course, although I'm having really a lot of fun and a really great time playing Skull and Bones, the game is far from being flawless. There are some features that could definitely have been better, starting with the character creation process at the start, which looks like it was made at the start of the development of Skull and Bones 10 years ago, and has since then never been touched. Player characters are definitely not a strong part of the game, and it shows every time you take a look at your own character. I also wished that the title had been a little less arcadey and a little more simulation-oriented. For example, some of the actions that we take are a little too simplistic in my taste. I wished more steps could be taken to do things than simply just pressing a single button, and that is especially true for landing and disembarking sequences. I also found that some of the game's sounds do not match the environment. For example, when we are sailing on rivers, we shouldn't hear the same sounds as when we are in the middle of the seas, and I will remain quiet here for a few seconds so that you can hear it for yourself. I also think that more realism could have been brought to the game world. For example, I think it's a little bit weird here that we can find all of those shipwrecks everywhere. I get it that Ubisoft had to gamify the world to make it a little bit more fun and exciting, but in my opinion, the current proliferation of shipwrecks does the opposite. It makes them repetitive and boring. When you see them, you end up thinking, meh, it's just another wreck with some money, some supplies, and maybe a few goods to trade. What Ubisoft should have done instead was to make those wrecks a rare sight and to make each of them a discovery that counts, with valuable loot that would have made their hunt something to look forward to or fight for. I also found some of the names of some of the settlements particularly uninspiring. For example, at some point, the Saint Anne blacksmith will ask you to attack a French settlement that is just called La Colonie. Surely the devs could have done a little bit better here, or perhaps they could have given that settlement a Portuguese name, or they could have given it to the Portuguese, right? Why are they not in the game? I mean, large chunks of East Africa was colonized by the Portuguese at that time when the game takes place, and so I find it a bit baffling to find out that they're not even in the game. So there you have it, guys. These are my first impressions of Skull and Bones. No, it is not a perfect game, but it does offer, to me at least, gameplay and a game world that compels me to play it more and more, and I thoroughly enjoy it, and I wanted to share these impressions with you guys in today's video. Of course, a full review of the game is in the works, and I'll go over every details of the game, so if you haven't done so, please make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified when that review will be up and any other content that will be released on the channel as well. I thank you very much for choosing to spend your time with me today, and I wish you a wonderful day. I'll see you guys in the next one.